Okay. So, um, there's a few parts of testimony that infuriates me. My son died 11 years ago. It's been 11 years. For people, it's very offensive when people come and say, oh, that was a traumatic event. That was terrible. It's a terrible situation and everything. What is even more terrible is constantly being bullied, harassed, and threatened. That's even more terrible, because not only did we go through what we went through with the loss of our son, it seemed like there was not even a moment to grieve our child before all the other bullshit fucking happened. So before we want to give this a title, the title is not the tragic event. The title is getting any kind of accurate information. Stop fucking showing my son's deceased body. Those are the fucking things that are abusive after the fact. After the fact. So when I hear it was a tragic event, it was a very sad thing for your family, all this stuff, you're not looking at what the fuck has happened here in the last 11 years. Last 11 years. The likes of fucking Rafael Perez making up stories about my son and giving those stories that he made up in his fucking weird head. He gave that information to a state medical examiner as truth. The shit that he made up in his fucking head. We started there. Death investigation, policy, and procedure. Not followed. David Connors drove his fat ass fucking down to Dunkin' Donuts to get himself a fucking donut, when he should have been at the scene making sure everybody fucking did everything right. But no. We can't talk about that part. We can't talk about that part. That fat ass sits in IA and doesn't take IA investigations. We can't fucking talk about that, because you know what? It's all about the loss of my son, right? We're not looking at anybody else. We're not looking at any of this. We're not looking at Richard LaForest. Richard LaForest, who brought me in to a back room on the second floor of the Pawtucket Police Department on July 10th, 2014, and said, I'm so sorry. We should have been there. Major Crime should have been there. Rafael Perez had no right to handle this on his own. But we have David Connors, who should have fucking known what the policy and procedure was. And then, to have a death certificate with 2 dates on it. That needed to be amended. Now let's talk about, it was a tragic event. This is where we're always going to go with that, this was a tragic event. Sad for your family. But nobody fucking did their job. Not one person did their job. And it might be just because they're a bunch of fucking idiots They just don't fucking know their job, or they're just too fucking dumb to do their job. And I know, you can tell I've been listening to the testimony that, I feel like I haven't been heard. For 11 fucking years, my son's file has had incorrect information in it. I have a video with Dave Holden telling me that no matter what I had in my hand, they were not going to change my son's file. They were not going to change it. They were not going to put accurate information. Not even a fucking phone number is correct. Not even the fucking phone numbers are correct. And in that same video, Dave Holden admits that James Bano went too far by sending people to my home. This is a fucking higher up in the fucking police department. And he's acknowledging one of the lower people fucking did this. Sent people to my home. Sent people to my home. But let's talk about the tragic event of my son's death. And this is where the fucking rubber hits the fucking road. Because of that video that I have of Dave Holden saying that, a lot of people felt that, James Bano, he went too far by sending people to your home. Him and Brian Beach. And I feel like I'm not being heard. Are we not looking at what the fuck is happening here? Are we not looking at what the fuck has happened here? Over 500 times my son's file was accessed. Is that I'm upset with that because I lost my son? Or is that I'm upset with that because you people are so fucking creepy, I can't even fucking stand it. And to even be part of the Pawtucket Police Department, and I know I'm doing a little blanket thing right now because there are so fucking many of you. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Sitting across from Paul King while he shows pictures of my deceased child to the mayor in the city of Pawtucket. But let's talk about this. It's because it's a tragic event, or is it because you violated my son's privacy? Is that what it was? How about Frank Milos? How about fucking Frank fucking Milos giving my son's information to the media? You want to fucking talk about that? Is it because it's a very sad event that we lost our son? Or is it the violation of fucking privacy that fucking Frank Milos fucking did? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? As Frank fucking Milos, creepy as fuck, is sitting there looking at my son's medical information. And it's because it's a tragic event and it's so sad for your family. And I'm so sad. I'm so sorry. You don't feel like you're being heard. Being heard? How about people doing the fucking right thing? How about at one point, any point, fucking somebody does the right thing? No, they just double down even more and more and more and more, right? Frank Milos telling me he's not going to tell me who's releasing my son's medical records out of the Pawtucket Police Department because they're his client. Knowing that this is a major violation of privacy, and that bastard sat there fucking looking through it. Fuck you! You want to talk about social media monitoring? You want to talk about monitoring of someone? How about when the Pawtucket police fucking called the state police over something that I posted on Facebook that had nothing to do with them? How about that? How about that had nothing to do with them? They had the state police show up. How about that? Turtle Boy Sports showing up at my house. And that bastard, James Bano, fucking walked with a fucking pension walk with a fucking pension. Anybody else, they would have been charged. No, but the Pawtucket Police Department, they were all involved in it. So how can they very well say, we're going to charge? You know, like Dave Holden, you know, he went too far. Like it was no big deal. Like it was no big deal. Like it was no big deal. And Frank Milos releasing the report to Ethan Shorey. Mark DeSisto's office, no, it's not a violation of privacy. No. Only when they were getting paid like $500 to give 29 reasons why Frank Milos could never give that to the media. Forgetting the fact that their very same fucking office said that it wasn't a violation of privacy. That Frank Milos, you know, they weren't going to get involved. They weren't going to get involved. Frank Milos is involved in all of it. He's known about all of it. How about questioning how many times I called the Pawtucket Police Department? Well, there was one day, and Frank will remember this. I was calling asking for IA, and LaJoy, he's not even a cop. He's not a dispatcher or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he is. I hear I don't know, scamming, you know, trying to get I don't know, whatever. He sent me to everywhere but where I wanted to be. I had to keep calling back. And they thought it was fucking hilarious. These are the games that are played down in the Pawtucket Police Department, in case you didn't know. Or being told to come down to fill out a police report, and I get down there, and Paul Trout refuses to take it. He refuses to take it. Paul Trout, who was in my son's file, being... That kid, I don't know. What the fuck is wrong with that kid? Fucking creepy. Fucking creepy. Creepy. The retaliation, the bullying, the threats, all of it. Well documented. Well fucking documented. You want to talk about it's because, you know, I'm grieving the loss of my son. Haven't been able to. I haven't been able to because at every step of the way, something else fucking happens. All under Tina Gonzalez, who very well knew. She knows everything that's going on. You don't think that she knew that the Pawtucket police called the state police to come to my house, thinking that I was going to kill her? Really? Really? That's a thing? That's a thing? For what reason would I kill anyone? Frank Milos, knowing that my mother was living in fear, and he withheld that information for 3 years on the Turtle Boy Sports. James Spanno went on. He went on. It's all going to be heard about, right? I mean, we know exactly what happened to James Spanno after he left with the city pension. It's almost like, hey, we're going to give you a little treat. Thanks for doing that to her, and now we're going to give you a little bonus, right? Going to give you a little bonus. How about the mayor in the city of Pawtucket saying, "Stay safe" when Turtle Boy Sports was coming? They were showing up at my house. And the mayor in the city of Pawtucket, the mayor telling me stay safe. Unbelievable. And, you know, this was exactly why there are certain parts of the testimony that really rise to the level of, you're going to fucking like it because we're going to fucking do it. And that's why I wasn't gonna bow down to this. I did nothing wrong. Frank Milos is sitting in his office reviewing my son's medical information, his rescue report, and his postmortem. He's sitting there looking at it because he's very creepy. He's very creepy because it has nothing to do with him. My son's death has nothing to do with him. But you know what did have a lot to do with him? Everything that he saw happening to me and others in retaliation, bullying, and everything else. Harassment. You want to fucking talk harassment? Anyway, have the day you deserve. And the same thing with the council. Same thing with the council. When we stood before the council, when we were telling things, explaining things, showing things, and nobody fucking cared, and then they get lawsuits. That's the other part of it. That's the other part that, I mean, it is completely a fucking sham. It's a sham. And we're going to look to see how many times Tina has had anything to say in any of these other cases or anything, because I'm still waiting for a Brady Giglio list with her name clearly spelled out correctly.